second training session here on this ground. Is that right?
Yeah, we had a bit of an intra-club here on Saturday. So this is more of a skill session today.
What did you make of the ground and the atmosphere and the feeling around?
Oh, well, this is a little bit different than Serby, but actually it was pretty humid on Saturday. The wind's not too bad, but the ground's in really good nick, and the boys really enjoyed training.
How's the surface?
It's fine. I mean, I think it's a bit hard at the moment, but that'll soften by the start of the season. I think with the cricket and there's some concerts coming up, but we're not complaining.
So the guys pulled up fine?
They pulled up well, yeah. We wouldn't risk them if we, trained every day. It might be a bit different, but the one-off is fine.
Can you tell us about the nature of your squad for Sunday?
Well, it's a squad of 30 at the moment. It's still pretty big, but there'll be some new faces for sure. Liam Ryan will play. Young Venables will give him a go as well. So, yeah, it's exciting.
How's Liam's pre-season been?
Pretty good. We treat him like a first-year player, so they don't do all of the pre-season. They do about 60 or 70%. He's got through it pretty well. Adapted to the rigours of AFL and professionalism. It's still a work in progress, but he's going really well.
And Venables, does Venables have a chance to stake a claim for selection in round one, do you think, given the changes you have to make to your midfield?
Yeah, he's not alone. There's probably 4 or 5 positions up for grabs and legitimate spots open to anyone on the list. So he's one of many.
Is Archie amongst that list as well this weekend?
Yeah, he'll play this weekend against his old side. So been really happy with his progression as well. He's done a full pre-season and he's going to complement our midfield.
How close to your round one group would you want before the end of these 3 games?
Well, we get 2 official games, so I think most clubs will play reasonably full-strength sides with, where it might be a little bit different, there's spots and positions up for grabs that perhaps weren't there last year, so we'll be a little bit different, but I would have thought most sides will play full-strength.
By when? By your 3rd one? Or
I would have thought early on, yeah. I think Port will as well.
Sorry, how's JK tracking?
He's going really well. He's ahead of schedule. He's probably going to be in full training in the next couple of weeks. So whether he's back before round one or not, well, time will tell.
What do you think Archie brings to your midfield that will add something to that?
His main strength is probably his marking capabilities. So, outside of maybe an Elliot Yeo, we probably haven't got that much strength in the air. So he's a big-bodied mid that likes to throw his weight around.
Are you thinking at this stage that Elliot Yeo will play midfield, or would you start him there in the pre-season?
Yeah, a bit of both with the defence. He's an All-Australian defender now, so which he keeps telling me. So his ability to play back is still important for us. It's the same with Liam Duggan.
That's the JK role. So what do you do with that over pre-season? Where do you chuck in that position?
Yeah, he's hard to replace JK, but at the moment we've got 3 or 4 guys running through there with, obviously with Lycett coming back. We've got Vardy as an option. Obviously Nick's return, there's another option there. Young Waterman's going well, Fraser McGuinness as well, so Matty Allen, there's some kids there putting up their hand.
Does Waterman get a look this week?
Yeah, he'll play this week.
How's his pre-season been? How's his progress?
He's been exceptional, yeah. I think I'm not the only coach to say that our pre-season's been pretty solid with our kids. We've been really happy with the development of those guys, and I think the added opportunity for JLT1's probably added a little bit to it as well.
How close was Jake to getting a game towards the end of last year?
Yeah, I was pretty keen towards the back end of last year to see that, but it was probably just a bit underdone for that, along with a couple of other players. So, Willie was the same.
And Willie got a kick in the knee.
Jake, what do you like that?
He's a natural forward. Yeah, he's a natural forward. He's got those attributes that come with natural full forwards. He'll have 2 or 3 shots at goal a game, and he likes putting pressure on.
Tell us about Scotty Lycett and just how you see his pre-season unfolding, because it must be so good to have him back and around the group.
Yeah, look, he's completed full pre-season as well. He's had another issue with his shoulder, in the back end of the season, which just didn't allow him to play anywhere near his capability. So he's had a full look at it, and so has Vardy. So at the moment, with Gilesy going out of the squad and Drew, we're still a bit light on, with Nick coming back as well, but they've completed full pre-seasons.
So does Scotty play this weekend, or have you got to be a little more?
No, we'll play him this week. Yeah, we need to get some continuity with our team, so he'll play.
So you're training Vardy more as a forward ruck or a ruck forward? So where do you think his spot will be?
Yeah, it's interesting with Vards. he had to play ruck a lot last year, and hopefully with Nick's return, in the coming weeks, we'll have to get him playing forward a little bit. So all of our guys who play that second ruck position, and we're a little bit different than most clubs with our rucks probably not being able to just punch out 80–90% time on ball. We need the flexibility with them up forward as well.
Adam, are you planning at this stage to have Nick Natner in round one, or are you planning not to have him?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We've been, I hope it doesn't look like we're trying to make things up, but he gets to a point with his pre-season, we take him to a point where we need to pull him back, and then we build him back up, and we pull him back. He doesn't train every session, but he's training fully today. So our plan still is to get him at the back end of JLT and hopefully into round one. But if that doesn't happen, then round two. So there's there was a minor clean-up at the end of the season, nothing exploratory about it. It was just a clean-up, and it's taken a little bit of time to get him up and going. And like I said, we get him to a point, then we need to pull him back. So we keep getting, 5% better every time, and with no hiccups, he'll play round one.
The reason
when you say you're pulling him back, are you pulling him back because of your over-concern, or does he pull up sore?
A bit of both, yeah. Just the management of the body. We try and train him twice a week, so he misses every second session. And then, we get to the point where it needs to be pulled back and then get him going again.
When do you expect him to be unleashing that famous leap and actually getting physical?
Don't know yet. Yeah, we haven't hit that stage yet. So that's probably the last stage. And then, how he goes. Is he going to be a compromised athlete going forward? We don't know any of those things. So we're hoping for the best, and we're training for that.
There's been some pretty grim speculation that it's a bone-on-bone knee, and is either going to be a vastly diminished player, or that there's, have a vastly shortened career. How do you respond to that?
We're still optimistic we'll get the best out of Nick, and there's good footy and best footy still to come. But time will tell, and that's why we're managing it so, it's a delicate operation really, and how we manage it all. And we don't want to get him just for the early part of the year. We want to get him for another 3 or 4 years. So that's the strategy, and that's how we're going to go about it.
Do you think he could play round one if he doesn't play that last LT?
Possibly. I don't know how we'll go playing him a week before at East Perth before round one. But that's at the moment it's on target to play the back end of JLT3. But if that doesn't happen, then we'll see how we go.
Is the East Perth option a serious option in the practice match the week before you start?
Yeah, we'll have to look at it. I'm not quite sure yet. We haven't got to that point where it needs to be a decision. But it's the same with Josh Kennedy. These guys, unfortunately, have missed a big chunk of pre-season, and ideally they play a couple of games before we start. So. One thing though, they're A-grade players, so if anyone can come up and play early, it's those two. But we're just going to find the right balance.
Would week 2 being an away game be out of the equation as well? Would you rather be 1 or 3 at home?
No, I haven't thought that far. We haven't got that far into it.
You were talking up Nick as a possibility to play in the finals last year. Did the clean-up operation set him back that much? Because we're now looking at 17 months on from the injury and still not training fully.
Yeah, it's a good question. We got to the point last year where he wasn't far off being ready, but he wasn't ready, and it was exactly what I spoke about earlier. You take him to a certain point, and then we pull him back a bit, and that's what it got to towards the back end of last season. Another 2 or 3 weeks, you don't know what would have happened, but that's what happened at the back end of last year. So. We didn't push himself, or we didn't push him to the point of breaking him to the back end. It was just part of his progression, and it's been a bit of a journey since.
Is it because of the nature of his particular injury, or the nature of the athlete, the size of the athlete, and what he tries to do for you, the leaping and the recovery and the explosiveness? That sort of thing?
A bit of both. Yeah, a bit of both. It's something that hasn't been the standard reconstruction in terms of other things around the knee, but I don't want to go into too much detail. All I'll tell you is we're doing everything we can, and we're being as honest as we can.
Eric McKenzie, where's he at? He's out of the moon boot now.
Yeah, he's battled some injuries with his toes, so he'll be out for a little while, probably extended period of time. So we're still working through that.
Yeah, so definitely missed the start of the season.
I think so. We missed the early part of the year.
Yeah. You seem reasonably confident you'll get JK for round one.
We're hoping. Once again, everything's got to go right for that to happen. That's been he's a really good healer. So, once again, if we don't miss a beat with the recovery and the transition, he'll be okay.
If you don't, are you confident you could stump up a tall forward line with Jack Darling playing in JK's place and a Jake Waterman playing in Jack Darling's place?
Well, it's something we dealt with last year when we missed Nick and JK for probably 5 or 6 weeks at stages as well. So trying to work on how we did that last year. We learned some things, learned some lessons about how we went about that. Some really good successes and some disappointing results as well. So we're a bit more planned on that now.
Adam, with so many new faces, do you feel the competition for spots? Do you feel that intensity amongst the group?
Competition for spots is there, but it's probably just the general feel of excitement around the club with the youth coming through. It's obviously we made a significant change to our list, and it's a different dynamic. So with the new stadium and the new logo, the new era that we're sort of in, it's probably excitement more than competition for spots at the moment.